Right, week 14, Panthers versus Saints. So New Orleans is favored by 4.5. I'm going to take New Orleans. The model is pretty clear about this one. It's more clear than I would have been otherwise, but it's giving New Orleans 93% chance of winning with that correlates to a 20-point spread. Again, that's purely a correlation. That's what this means up here. Uh, the raw points, saying which makes more sense to me. Okay, 23 to 10, 23 to 14. Again, Carolina is a horrible team. And right now, I think they're just hoping to protect Bryce Young and develop Bryce Young at the same time. And if they're lucky, do bad enough to where they can get some really good draft picks and maybe next year not stink as bad. And if they're lucky, they don't get Bryce Young killed between now and then. That's what it appears to me. New Orleans is merely a mediocre to bad team that can sometimes play pretty good, but for the most part, they play pretty poor. From what I can see, I don't really see any teams that they've beaten this year that I thought were good teams. And to be perfectly honest with you, that I'd look quickly through the teams that they've played. I'm not sure that I would say that they've played any good teams. Maybe Houston. I think Houston's pretty good. But again, Houston just happens to have a really good quarterback in Detroit. And you know what? They played Detroit pretty good. Uh, but with that, all the signs are showing that both of these are one's a bad team, the other's a mediocre team. 4.5 point spread for a home field advantage at New Orleans doesn't seem that unusual, and the numbers are all suggesting that. One thing I will point out is Derek Carr was listed as questionable, as is Taysom Hill. Quite frankly, I think Jameis Winston's actually a really good quarterback. The problem with Jameis Winston is he throws a lot of interceptions, and but the guy's got an arm and a half. That's for darn sure. He's going to put up some yards, absolutely. Whereas that's where Carolina is struggling with Bryce Young. He just is not getting it in the NFL. And then when we come over here to the right, you're also going to see New Orleans. I would fully expect them to be able to be very explosive with the Jameis Winston. That dude's got an arm. The only question is going to be is, does he throw it to their guys downfield or does he throw it to the defense downfield? Just because he is quite confident in his physical ability and his ability to get the ball to anyone, anywhere on the field, regardless of the coverage. He's 100% certain he can get it there, which gets some touchdowns, gets some big plays, gets some interceptions as well. Then we come down here to Carolina. They have absolutely no big play capability. You've got a lot of turnovers, a lot of sacks. So I don't really see a whole lot going on with that one. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a 7-0 game either. So anyhow, I hope you like what you listened to. If you do, click like or subscribe. And if you got any questions, comments, drop me a note.